Well, hello guys. Greetings from Lisbon in Portugal. Today I am off to see Benfica playing at home in a league game. They're kind of near the end of the Portuguese main league. So I've been here for a few hours. So let's see how today goes. Really looking forward to this game. Stadium of Light, Estádio da Luz. It's a stadium to tick off your bucket list if you're a fan of soccer. So here we go. Let's go to the stadium. Let's get some of the atmosphere. Let's go see some Benfica.
Last summer.
I'm noticing that most people are wearing jackets and hats. And I have Factor 50 sun cream. 3/4 length shorts, because I think this is the warmest I've gotten in the last 4 years. If you're travelling to Lisbon, ensure that you pick up a Viva Viagem travel ticket. My one costs €6.80 for 24 hours of travel on buses, trams and metro. One of the first things I like to do when I visit a new city is to try and perfect the metro line as best as I can. The metro is very safe, very clean, runs from 6:30 in the morning until 1 o'clock in the morning. If you're like these Benfica fans and you're off to a game at the Estádio da Luz, make sure you ride the blue line and jump off at Alto dos Moinhos and follow the stream of Benfica jerseys. Enjoy the atmosphere. Current capacity of the Estádio da Luz is 65,000 people, and the current version was opened in 2003. The first stadium was opened in 1953 and it was called the Estádio de Carnegie, which means the stadium of meat, just as well because I was feeling pretty hungry and I was about to try a bifana sandwich, a local meat classic in Lisbon. Yeah, I just have candy all over my face. It's amazing. The walk to the stadium, one of the most historical football stadiums arguably in the world. Estádio da Luz, Benfica. Amazing atmosphere. Got my bifana, got my beer. That's a lot of commitment to riding motorbikes. Understand the traffic in Lisbon. Maybe the bike is the best way to go. So Benfica are going into this game with a lot of good form. They're top of the league. They bet Toulouse from France 2-1 in the Europa League 3 days ago. Angel Di Maria got 2 penalties. I was watching the game in Dublin. But it's only a 3-day turnaround for this league game, so will tiredness catch up with the Benfica lads? Only time will tell. But the atmosphere is unbelievable. Definitely, I'll never forget this. The game hasn't even started.
Sou Benfica sempre. Sou eu como lutador que lutam com fervor onde quer. São 120 anos de história a tornar impossíveis conquistas. É essa a nossa mística.
I was enjoying the atmosphere so much that I forgot to record David Neres' goal, the first one in the first half for Benfica, but then it started raining goals. All the pressure from Benfica now. Scored the first goal and they're trying to get the second. I think it's looking good at the moment. Really bad mistake from the goalkeeper. I don't know what he was doing. He was caught out about 30 seconds before that and got punished the second time round.
Marca o nosso capitão com o número 30.
At half-time, we received a lap of honour from the Benfica women's rugby team, who became national champions after defeating Sporting Lisbon, of all teams. Meanwhile, I was starting to lose count how many goals were scored. Pretty easy in the end, 6-1 to Benfica. Pretty easy. The atmosphere is still good. So it finished 6-1 to Benfica at the end. 6-1. It was 5-0 at half time, and the opposing team got one goal back. And then, to be quite honest, I think the excitement went out of the game when the first 5 goals went in the first half. Actually very happy to see Angel Di Maria play. Not every day you get to see a World Cup winner playing ball in front of you. It's Monday tomorrow, everyone up for work. But a great experience, an amazing stadium. The fans here were really, really nice. And definitely add that one to the bucket list. If ever you're in Lisbon, make sure that you get along to at least a game of Benfica, whatever team is in town. Even if it's Sporting Lisbon, whatever, who cares? Get along to a game, enjoy the atmosphere. I wish I got along to the stadium maybe an hour beforehand, because the food, the beer, the atmosphere was absolutely amazing. I can only imagine what it's like when it's Benfica and Sporting Lisbon playing. The team that were playing tonight are in, I think, 16th or 17th place, so it wasn't exactly expected that it was going to be a close game. But regardless, good experience, and now it's time to get back into Lisbon city centre. The street you see in this footage is from the very centrally located Rua de Loreto in the middle of downtown Lisbon, packed full of music, markets, pubs, restaurants. And speaking of food, I was quite hungry and wanted to try out a local delicacy that I never tried in my life: octopus with boiled egg, with my friends at O Arco. Amazing hosts. Thank you so much, my friends. But there's more pressing matters at hand the following morning. On to Sintra.
Good morning, everybody from Sintra in Portugal. So I'm on my way to the one-time residence of the Portuguese royal family back about 200-300 years ago. And so far, I'm only at the beginning of the trip, and there's this majestic little castle just sitting in the middle of a lake. I mean, check this out. Not bad for a Monday morning. So the guide at reception informed me that once you arrive here, it's a 10-minute drive in an Uber if you want to go straight to the castle, or it's a half an hour walk. And I got here in good time for my 11 a.m. slot. It's 20 past 10 now, so I've allowed myself enough time to go on a beautiful walk, a meandering walk up the hills, and see what I can see.
This beautiful parkland is 200 hectares in size and really complements the romantic style of architecture that we'll see at the palace in a moment. And by the way, over the next few minutes, if you want to hear me romantically, heavily breathing as I'm trying to catch my breath after walking up the hill, you're in for a treat.
One of the few bad things about travelling solo is not as many people to take the epic photographs. It's kind of selfie heaven around here. People saying, "Oh, I want to take a picture here," and I'm like, just get out of my way.
As you can see from the queues, it's recommended that you show up early, or at least book early. My tour is for 11 a.m, and even then, the crowd was starting to build. My recommendation is to book ultra early, maybe about 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. Once inside, we get to see beautiful views of the old royal family's inner courtyard. Inside, we get to observe what was the royal family's dining area in a very Moorish style of architecture replicated around the house. Here we get to see the one-time sleeping quarters of King Carlos. Amazing to see a lot of restoration work still going on in what is definitely a house of heritage for Portuguese people. As we make our way down the steps, you can look out the window and notice that this was definitely built as a summer house and to take in the beautiful views overlooking the landscape. This area is known as the Queen's Terrace and offers stunning views over the palace, Sintra Valley and to the Moorish castle. The vantage point offers an expansive panorama spanning from the distant ocean on one side to the eastern view of Lisbon on the other.
Really stunning day. And up until Manuel II, who's the last king of Portugal, this was the family seat near Lisbon, here in the city of Sintra. Portugal became a republic in 1910, and from then on, I think it lay in kind of disrepair for a few years, and now it is crazy busy here all the time. Today's February, and there's lots of people, and it's a Monday. But look at the views behind me. Okay guys, so I'm on my way to the 10th century Moorish castle. The Moors were people who originated in North Africa, mainly Muslim, and the Iberian Peninsula. And they would have ruled the roost in this part of Portugal for many years. So we're going to be checking out a castle that has formations over a millennia ago. Insane.
The millennium-old Moorish castle was founded under Islamic rule in Portugal, and it was the home of the Moors right through till 1147, when Sintra was handed over to Alfonso Henriques, the first king of Portugal. Equally, the vantage points at this part of the castle are to rival the stunning Penne Castle close by. As you'll see from the following few clips, there's one or two steps, so make sure that you bring your running boots with you on the day of your visit to the Moorish castle.
I'm going to have calves of Arnold Schwarzenegger by the time I go back to Ireland. Relaxing holiday, they say. If there's one piece of advice I could give you guys if you're coming to Sintra, go to see the Pena Castle, or if you're going to see Moorish Castle, any of the castles, make sure that you're of a relatively good fitness level. I'm definitely not fit, but I can survive. Also, it's very deceiving because you might think the castles are pretty close, and they look close when you're up on top, but geez, they're walking to it is an ordeal. Did the hard part. I got an Uber to the first castle, and then I actually forgot that I was going to see the Moorish Castle, so I ended up just starting to walk, and then I see an entrance for the Moorish Castle, and then there's another 500 metres up winding hills, and now I'm finished. So now I don't care. I'm walking through all this beautiful woodland, and I'm going to go down to the town and get myself some food, get myself a beer. I have earned it. You again. Oh, you again. I have these people from Argentina following me. Really sorry about that. Stalking me. Good to see you, my friend.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. Safe travels. Good to see you again. Talk to you soon. You never know who you're going to bump into around here. Okay, I'm down in Sintra village. It's absolutely beautiful.
Food quickly became the order of the day, and I found myself a beautiful little restaurant, and I sat outside. The name of it was Tasca de Chico, and I helped myself to my first fried Portuguese codfish with a little bit of chickpea and a beer called Superboc. Some might even call it the national beer of Portugal.
Delighted here with my white chocolate and passion fruit tub of ice cream. The texture is just unbelievable. It's like buttercream. Very historical. Part of Sintra, 35 kilometers from Lisbon. That's absolutely beautiful.
Just when I thought I couldn't love Sintra anymore, I happened upon a ginger shop selling the wonderful cherry liqueur, which dates back to Roman times and still made here in Sintra every single day. After finishing the wonderful ginger liqueur, there is a cup that you're drinking out of, made out of chocolate.
So here we are, traditional ginginha. Thank you so much.
Obrigada. Thank you.
Why have one when we can have two? Thank you so much. Ching ching. Obrigado.
It's the liquor
Oh no.
with the chocolate.
Okay. So you actually eat the
That's
cup.
why. Yes,
This is crazy.
very good.
I've just told me that we can eat the cup. This is, jeez, oh my god. Better eat the cup, so. You can eat the cup. This is revolutionary, girls. It's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Obrigada.
Claro. Good morning, everybody, from the beautiful Mostadio dos Jerónimos. Jerónimos, yeah, I think I got it. And I'm in the historical Belém district of Lisbon today. Don't know if I'm going to go into the old monastery. It is absolutely beautiful, but I really want to check out the Belém Tower and also the monument that's very, very close to it, where the sailors used to come in and out when they were leaving Lisbon's shores when Portugal was once an empire. Very different country now, of course, but historical nonetheless. Absolutely beautiful day. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's 21 degrees. Yes, I put my factor 50 on me. I'm ready to rock. Let's see what we can find today. Anywhere the museum area is in the city, I am there. Across the road, we've got the Centro Cultural de Belém.
Hello.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good, you're good.
I'm great. Thank you very much for asking. Bye-bye. And the Portuguese kids are pretty nice too. Saying hello. It was the same yesterday. Pulled out my recording kit when I was in Sintra. Hey, you on YouTube? Hey, have you got an Instagram? yeah. So there you go, guys. Walk around with a camera even though you're not even filming anything, and you never know what might happen. People might actually say hello to you. What a time to be alive. You ever watch those traveling videos? The attraction looks much more beautiful in the photograph. Well, yes, it does look really beautiful, but we're in the middle of basically a train line and a motorway. Woohoo! Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the dream right there. So I'm going to show you the monument now. So if you are in this part of Lisbon, in the Belém area, make sure that you be careful when you're crossing over the road. That'd be very, very ideal. Very cool. Starting to feel a bit different now. Train literally going over my head. This is a place that we wanted to check out for a long time. No, obrigado, amigo. Obviously, with any tourist hotspot, you're going to get the people selling the jewellery, asking you where you're from. I don't think they really care, should I say, where you're from. So, if you don't need to buy anything off these people, just don't.
Standing at 170 feet or 52 metres tall, the monument to the discoveries, or Padrão dos Descobrimentos in Portuguese, was finished in 1960 to mark the Portuguese Age of Discovery.
It's actually very, very deceiving when you see it first. It's much taller than you think. When you see a picture of the monument, it does not look halfway as large as it is in reality. Absolutely amazing. And really kind of symbolises when Portugal was a superpower, travelling to all these different places around the world. But it's a throwback to those days, whether we like it or not.
1960 was also said to be the 500-year anniversary of the death of Henry the Navigator, and here we see him looking out to sea. Now, I don't know if it was the sunshine affecting my brain, but twice in the upcoming clip I called the Belém Tower Belém Castle. I'm really sorry, you know what I mean.
Okay guys, so for reference, if you're visiting this part of Portugal, the monument is just here, and then Belém Castle is further down, a few minutes straight ahead. So very possible to walk it, probably in about 5 minutes if you're pretty quick on your feet. But what a morning this is. Like, there's a cycling lane right beside me. I would love to have this as a cycle path. Absolutely wonderful. Yeah, you get a real feel for the history down here. Even looking over to the suspension bridge behind me, you can imagine them trying to get over one side of the city to the other all those years ago. And when I was looking at the map of where Portugal have been around the world, it's insane. Literally from the middle of the 1400s up until around the end of the 1500s, begin the 1600s was kind of their glory years, I suppose, if you want to put it that way. And for a couple of centuries. Seafood and sunshine. And back home in Dublin, it's probably raining. You wouldn't really get this walking down Clontarf most days. But let's head off to the castle. It's said to be, this is roughly where the spot where the ships would have came in. They also would have left from here on their voyages and adventures. So this whole area would have been the port all those years ago. But I've had a really amazing couple of days here in Lisbon. Arguably, I wish I could have spent maybe another day or so. Not even so much in Lisbon, but definitely down perhaps towards Sintra and down to Cascais. Beautiful little village very close to Sintra. Sorry if I massacred the pronunciation. I'm just a scary Irish person. Don't be nice to me. As I always say to people, don't worry, I'll give you an Irish language test and see how you do. Okay, so let's continue down to the tower. I thought you could access it from here, but evidently not. Some guy getting his speedboat on. What a life. What are you doing today? I'm gonna wake up this morning and go on my speedboat. Love it.
Built in the 16th century, the Belém Tower was built to defend Lisbon from enemy ships. Around 1515, architect Francisco de Arruda designed the monument, and it served the purpose of being a fort that protected Lisbon from raids along the Tagus River. Also marked the beginning of voyages for sailors. Often by force and under the banner of Christian crusading missions, the Portuguese would go on and settle colonies in modern-day Angola, Guinea-Bissau, Cape Verde, Sao Tome and Principe, Mozambique, Goa, and Brazil.
So I have found a monument that commemorates the 500-year anniversary of when the Portuguese went to Brazil. Basically, 500 years ago, Pedro Álvares Cabral set sail for Brazil, and that monument is from the 9th of March 2000. So maybe Cabral left here in March 1500, not too sure, but historians say that was the year that the Portuguese went to Brazil. So here's my little tap. For all my Brazilian friends out there. History. I'm Irish, I know all about it. It kind of feels strange to be at the epicenter of a lot of your history, guys. There's a very interesting exhibition going on in the Lisbon Art Museum. The next generation of Portuguese artists. The Museum of Contemporary Art was opened in October 2023, so I had no idea that I was happening upon a brand new museum. And what a museum it is. I didn't go into it because time was against me, but I walked the grounds and it was absolutely beautiful. To understand where we are now, we must see where we have come from in the past. And the Navy Museum, or the Museu da Marina, is a maritime museum in Lisbon, founded in 1863, which goes into the history of Portugal and its navigation around the world in the last few hundred years. I found it fascinating and relatively melancholy simultaneously, but for me, as a fan of history, it was definitely one to tick off the bucket list.
On leaving the museum, it was back into the centre of Lisbon I went. Off to check out Praça de Comércio and also Baixa, the main shopping drag in Lisbon. Welcome from the Comércio. Pretty much the epicentre along the river here in Lisbon, where all the action is. See, beautiful. Look at this. 24 degrees Celsius. I can't imagine this place any warmer, and I can't imagine this place with more people. But apparently summertime is absolutely crazy. I don't really know how to sum up Lisbon. It's such a busy place. People are very friendly. Like any big city, you just have to kind of watch who's around you. Unfortunately, I've been asked a few times a day, cocaine, weed, and apparently they don't even sell drugs, they sell oregano, which is very healthy. I'm very health conscious of them, but I'm coming towards my last day here. I figured I'd just be a tourist for the day and do my own thing. And here we go. No thank you. There you go. Okay, that's the 6th time today. I don't need sunglasses, man, or drugs. I look cool without them. Unveiled on the 6th of June 1775 is the statue of Jose I, one-time king of Portugal, facing the Tagus River. And he is seen here sitting on his horse, Gentile. Built to commemorate the city's reconstruction after the 1755 earthquake that levelled the city of Lisbon, here we see the Rua Augusta Arch, which was officially opened in 1873. It depicts 6 columns and is adorned with statues of various historical figures from Portuguese history. So, welcome to the main thoroughfare of Lisbon, Baixa. Again, I've probably absolutely murdered that pronunciation. So trying to squeeze as much in as I can before going back to Ireland tonight. And this is probably the flattest part of Lisbon. It's the only part where I haven't either been nearly falling on my face or nearly getting vertigo from looking up. So, very strange feeling to be back on flat land again. Also very strange to see people or the shops advertising basically winter jackets and hoodies. It's like when I went to the supermarket the other day and I asked the girl for sun lotion and she said she didn't supply any because it's still too cold. The buildings, wow. Okay, now it's time to get down to the more important business at hand, somewhere to eat. Lots and lots of places, but it's really about picking the right one. I keep on just giving the thumbs up to people off the camera. Keep on trying to get me to come over and buy shit. Cracking Leinster top, I like it. Good man. Guy outside having a smoke, he's wearing a Leinster rugby jersey. There's no escape. Leinster, of course, if you didn't know, it's a rugby team back home in Ireland. A tour guide just walked past and said what's in front of me is called the Eiffel Tower of Lisbon. So let's see. There you go. There's the
Eiffel Tower of Lisbon. And apparently people queue for like about 45 minutes to climb this tower for reasons best known to themselves. Nice tower. Not going to spend the rest of my day queuing for it though. Looks nice though. Absolutely beautiful city. Really enjoyed myself here. Thankfully in Dublin we don't really have crazy queues for most of the attractions. Now Dublin is a much smaller city, much smaller than Lisbon. Wouldn't even have the range of architecture that Lisbon has. So wouldn't get maybe the same footfall of tourists. I'm not too sure, I'll have to have a look at the statistics. But we definitely get our fair share too. Before I went home, I'm glad I met one of the most passionate men I've ever met in a job, Say, whose father runs the Ginginha das Gavias. What a man, he loves his business.
A really affordable bottle, and a bottle that you can get in almost any supermarket.
Might just bring it home.
You should do. I don't know how it is in other countries.
But finally getting green wine, it's an ambition now. You can't go to Lisbon and not get green wine.
For example, this bottle, you can have it in a winery. You can buy it in a winery. It's relatively easy to do it. So sometimes you buy a wine and you buy a glass of wine in a bar because you want to appreciate the vibe. You want to appreciate the atmosphere. And it's so important for us to keep this vibe like safe and clean.
And safe and clean is how our evening turned out. Say is an absolute gentleman, and what a time I had in Lisbon. I flew out on a Sunday morning. I was back home to Dublin on a Tuesday night. It's amazing the things you can squeeze in if you're around for 2 or 3 days. Book a flight, take that experience, and you have lifelong memories. If you enjoyed today's video, guys, make sure to check me out on Instagram, Talk to Ross. If you want to consider supporting me, patreon.com/Talk to Ross. All links down below. But for now, Lisboa, muito obrigado.